If you're hiring a contractor soon, this episode could save you a nightmare. Today we're talking renovation horror stories and how to avoid becoming one. You're going to want to listen to this.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Digital Mayors Podcast. And as a quick teaser, we're here today with Andy Wyman from Wyman Legal Solutions right here in Boca Raton. The Andy Wyman.
Andy has spent decades in construction-related legal work, and he's built his practice around helping homeowners when renovations go sideways, or better yet, before they do.
Yeah, that would be a help. So we're going to get into some of the biggest mistakes that homeowners make when hiring contractors. A couple of how did this even happen stories, and the simple vetting checklist that can save your budget and your sanity.
Yes, and we're going to talk about what to do if you're already mid-project and things feel a little iffy.
Oh, yeah.
Say off.
Yeah, that's a good one. Plus, we are going to do our Book of Awesome segment, our lightning round, and we're going to end with one small action that you can take this week to protect your home and your neighbors.
I like that, man. That's good.
Yeah. So, again, hello, friends. Welcome to the Digital Mayors Podcast. We're based right here in Boca Raton, and our hub is lovewhereyouLiveFL.com.
Yes, our podcast aims to highlight the people, businesses, organizations, and places that make South Florida a great place to live, work, play, learn, give, and thrive.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, welcome.
I'm so glad you guys have me on today.
Yeah, thank you for being here. We're excited.
We're so happy you're here.
Great to see you guys.
So for anyone meeting you for the first time, all right, how do you describe what you do?
That's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, generically, we're a construction law firm. But what I really tell people is that unlike other construction law firms, we are the people who advocate for those good homeowners who have hired those really bad contractors. And when your job is taking too long, costing too much, the work is not good, it gets abandoned, unlicensed contracting, like that is the sole focus of our law firm.
Well, that happens here in South Florida?
No.
Once or twice, it's been known. But we do that work all over the state. So it happens in North Florida too, and the West Coast.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Wow. Okay.
Sure does.
So what kind of situation or what kind of call would you say makes you say, oh yeah, this is exactly why I do what I do?
So homeowners get in a little bit of trouble on these jobs because they outpay the pace of the work. So the call that we'll get is someone who says, hey, I've paid 90 or 95% of the money to my contractor who's doing this addition to my home, this renovation, this custom home build, whatever the pool project, whatever it might be, but he's only half done. And even the work he's done is not that good. And now he's not coming back, and he's not returning my calls, and he doesn't respond to texts. And when he promises he'll be there on Monday, he doesn't show up, or somebody comes for a couple hours, tinkers around, and they split. I just want my life back. I want my house back. How do I get this guy to finish the job? And those are the calls we receive a lot of.
God, it would probably be better if you got them before all that happened, but
yes,
you're happy to help at that point too.
We've come up with some creative ways to help, because at that point it's just all about leverage, and what when you've given away and paid all the money, you're out of leverage really with your contractor. So they come to us, and we have ways to try to get some leverage back in their corner in order to have a conversation with the contractor on more
look how nicely he said that.
It's a conversation,
right?
Yeah, of course. Listen, so take us back.
Yes.
Where are you from originally, and what brought you into construction law? You didn't go, oh my God, when you were a little kid, I want to be in construction law.
I want to be a construction lawyer.
Right.
Yeah. So grew up in Long Island. My dad was a contractor, and my grandfather was a contractor.
Okay.
So when I was 13 years old, I went to work for the company one summer as a carpenter's assistant. That just meant that some poor schmuck had to drag around the boss's son and make me seem useful, and that was a lot more challenging than you might think. And they put a hammer in my hand, and I knew that was not the way I was going to be making any money. And so, went to law school up in New York, and I moved to Florida a few years after graduating. And I just did sort of what I would call commercial litigation, which is business disputes, real estate disputes, construction disputes, just kind of anything that sort of came in from a litigation perspective. But I really enjoyed the construction because it's one of those things that, other lawyers know they don't know it. It's every case is interesting because you have to learn about a roofing system, and window systems, and they're all unique and they're all different.
Every situation.
Yeah, so we've been focusing on construction exclusively for over a decade, and although it's been a part of my practice for multiple decades. And now we've really niched into helping the homeowners because they're the ones who are really underrepresented. They need more help than anybody
Correct.
else.
Yeah.
And there's
Listen,
no one
been
out
there.
there. Yeah,
Been
right.
there.
Everyone
It
has.
sucks.
Everyone has or knows somebody, right, who's been there. And when I tell people what we do, oh, I wish I knew you 3 years ago. I wish I knew you 5 years ago.
Right. And that's one of the reasons that we wanted to have you here. Because like my brother mentioned, like we've been the victims of this.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, years ago, before we were ever in any construction related business,
Yeah.
my brother and Lydia hired a contractor to do work at their house. Our parents hired that same contractor to do work at their house. And ultimately what he did is he took deposits from both,
Right.
disappeared. And when we were finally able to reach him, he said, I've got a gun. What are you going to do? Come get it.
Right.
Right. So like that
was awesome.
What kind of situation is that? You know, I'm not dying over, you know, $20,000 or $50,000.
No, sure, of course.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We were fortunate that we did my sister-in-law.
She's what we call wicked smart.
She is wicked smart.
Nice.
So my sister-in-law Lydia is a real estate paralegal.
Right.
And so she said, screw me, no, screw you. She placed a lien on his primary residence.
Okay.
And when he sold it, how many years later?
5 or 6.
5 or 6 years
Guess you
later,
got a check.
Okay.
they got paid.
Fantastic.
Right. So again, like we were fortunate
Yes.
in that case. There are tons of people out there that are not.
No, that is a story with a happy ending. So
Yeah.
that's good. But a lot of these stories do not end happily. And unfortunately, there's the laws in the state of Florida are not really super friendly to the homeowners. And so, it's not as they don't get, they're not as protected as you would hope and want. And so that makes it even more difficult. They tend to be a bit disappointed when I explain the process to them and what's really available to them.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
That's not always fun.
No.
So was there a turning point? Was there a moment, a client or something where you just went, oh, yeah, again, this is my lane. This is, it's the homeowners I want to protect and represent.
Yeah, sure. So the homeowners who would come to us with these problems, they've generally made two pretty big mistakes at the very beginning of the job that are so avoidable. One is most people don't know how to hire a contractor, a good one, and they don't sign contracts that protect them if they've signed one at all. So, so when they come to us later in the project after these couple of mistakes have been made, it's a little bit more difficult to help them. But I have a kind of a soft spot for the homeowner in these situations. I mean, when you go home at the end of a workday, I mean, that's you're looking to escape, right? I mean, it's kind of where you have your memories and enjoy your time with your family. And you for these people, the stories that we hear on how, because I'll ask them anytime, a new client might call us, tell me how this is affecting you. How does this affect you? Yeah, obviously,
That's the real thing.
Correct.
It is the real thing because no one wakes up in the morning and is like, yes, today's the day I want to go hire a construction lawyer. I mean, they have a real life problem it's affecting the way they live.
There's a point that gets you, like, you're not doing that just for the hell of it.
No, right.
There's a reason.
Right, and they don't look at it like a legal problem. They're like, I want you to help me get this contractor out of my life or get this job done so I can, so we can have that birthday party in our backyard that we promised our daughter we were going to have with our gorgeous new pool, which is nothing now but a hole in the ground. Or, we're washing our dishes in the bathtub because we have no kitchen. Whatever it might be, we hear a lot of those stories. So, it's these people need help and there's no one else out there wanting to help them. So, this was a void that was necessary to fill and I was happy to do it.
That's cool. And it's interesting you said that. It just reminded me and I made a note. So with our business, right, Paver Dudes, Florida, we were called out to someone's house very recently.
So funny. I had the same, as he said it, I had the same exact thought.
Right, very recently, because they want to expand their pool deck. And I went out there and they're in the process of building a pool and a pool deck. And I was shocked at how bad it is. Their what do you call it? The sun deck, right? Where you put a lounge chair and you can have a little bit of water.
Right.
Their sun deck is maybe like 4 feet by 4 feet. And he's like, that's not what our plan was. And something on the other side, like it's not centered.
Ugh.
It's just everything is wrong. And the pavers on the pool deck are put in poorly. Like I'm sitting there, holy shit! But now we have a referral for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the stuff we get involved.
Yeah, because
with all the
listen,
time.
we talked to the person who referred us to them, and he said they're done. Like they don't want these people back on their property at all.
Right.
It's at that point.
That's what we hear all the time. They're so fed up and they're so frustrated, and then these contractors will will make you think you're the crazy one.
Right.
Because no, that's fine. That's
Oh,
how
yeah,
it's
that's
supposed
okay.
to be.
Yeah.
You know, the floor is supposed to be wavy.
Right.
It'll settle out in 6 months. I mean, and you start to question as a homeowner.
Right.
Maybe I'm expecting too much.
Right.
Right.
And the homeowner who tries to do this on their own, they're like, all right, you know what? Maybe if I'm nice to the guy, you know, I know he's asking for an extra payment a little early, but maybe if I give it to him,
Right.
he'll really
work will
start the
improve.
work, right? And then they try that, and the guy disappears, and then they try to get really angry and nasty and post something online,
Right.
an online review or
Yeah.
something, and it just they don't know what to do, and so that's why they need professional help for
Yeah.
this kind of thing.
For sure.
That
Absolutely.
makes sense.
So you're from New York originally, like
Yes.
you said. I'm sorry. What brought you to South Florida?
My parents moved here when I was in law school with my younger sister.
Okay.
And so I was in New York. I was at my first year at Fordham Law School, and then I lived and worked up there for a few years. My friends started getting married and moving out of New York City, and it just seemed like a good time to make the move down here to Florida. So I'm still licensed there in New York and New Jersey,
Cool.
but I've been here since 1999.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And so we have a kind of a fun small world connection too. So your wife's good friend,
Yes.
Julie Chipman,
Right.
and
Shout out to Julie.
shout out to Julie. Julie Chipman and I, we have the same birthday, and we went through school together in Sharon, Massachusetts, from first grade through high school graduation.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? How small that
Yeah.
that world is. I don't even remember how it came about that we found that out, but like,
Oh, I don't know either.
a guy from Long Island, a guy from Sharon, Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
We're in Boca Raton, Florida, talking about something and go, oh,
Right.
Yeah.
Julie's she was your wife's college roommate or something?
They were great friends from sleepaway camp
Oh my God.
as
right.
kids, and I was smart enough to marry a woman from Boston. So.
Smart. Yeah, well then.
Yeah.
You have some good stuff.
You do have
Good
some
stuff
good
going
stuff.
on.
Exactly.
So we're going to move on to this cool segment called First Job, Best Lesson.
Okay.
I mean, I think you already kind of alluded to what your first job was, but maybe it was something else. So this is a segment we love because it
Oh, I
kind of
wouldn't
brings
even
you
count
back.
that as a job. Yeah, no, that wasn't much of a job.
So what was your very first job, and is there a lesson you still carry from it today?
My very first job was a delivery boy for Newsday.
Really?
Newsday newspapers. I had a paper route. For
Okay.
Oh,
Same.
I had a paper route for about 4 years.
Really?
Yeah. And so
How old were you when you started, do you think?
I was it must have been like right after my bar mitzvah probably.
Yeah.
So I guess I was like 13,
That's
and I
cool.
did it all through high school. I saved up enough money that I was able to get a new car when I
Wow.
turned 17. I got a brand new Hyundai Excel, a 2-door hatchback
Nice.
that was brand new, like
That-
$8,600 or something
Wow.
like
that's
that.
so cool.
And Hyundai was new back then.
Hyundai was very
Yeah.
new back then. Yeah,
That's,
exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I was a paper boy too.
Uh-huh.
I delivered the Patriot Ledger and the Boston Globe.
Okay.
Yeah, for at least a handful of years.
There were some summers that my friend who had the other half of the neighborhood, he went away for sleepaway camp,
right.
and I would take over his route for the summer, and I had like 90 papers.
Yeah.
Which, I'm doing it on a bicycle,
Correct.
like
Same.
with a basket
Same.
and that kind of thing. And so, I mean, my quads got a great work.
Oh,
To
yeah.
this day, I still have like super strong
Yeah.
legs because of that.
Oh yeah, and
Absolutely.
listen. So I didn't have a basket. I had the rack on the back
Oh, okay.
with just the tension arm that held it
Mm-hmm.
down. So God forbid the bike tipped at all. All the papers were strewn on the ground, and the drivers were very pleasant when I was trying to pick those up.
Yes, right.
See, I'm what they
People
call
are like,
smart.
my paper's wet.
Yeah.
I'm what they called smart. I didn't do that.
Oh, okay.
I worked at a baseball card
Yeah.
store.
Oh, that's
Way better.
That's definitely a lot more fun.
Way better.
Sunday paper, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those things were super thick, and I could only fit like a dozen at a time in my
Right.
basket.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're
Same. You
doing
gotta make trips.
like 90, you got to
Yeah.
make like 8 trips back here.
So did you start farthest away or closest?
I started closest.
Yeah.
I started closest.
I think I would start farthest.
I think I started closest too, right? Because listen, that's where you pick up the papers where they are, and you start. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I was smart enough to even think about strategy.
Yeah.
So, is there anything from your old paperboy days that a lesson or something that you carry with you today?
Don't let people owe you money for too long.
There you go. Right?
Right?
I think you probably still use that today. Yeah.
Absolutely. We definitely make sure we get paid.
Yeah. That's listen, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. So if you're open to it,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a family inner circle or people you consider your support system?
Sure.
Right? Well, yeah. Right. You already mentioned your wife, and
Yeah,
and
right.
you've got kiddos. So,
do
tell
have
us a little bit
kiddos.
about your.
Yeah. So yeah, my
doing that.
kids are 23 and 21. So my daughter just graduated from UF last year, and now she
Congrats.
works in New York City.
Wow.
Yeah, she works for Kohl's,
Really?
the department store.
KOHL.
Yeah, she is their global. She's their what's it called? Community Insights and Engagement Coordinator. So anytime Kohl's makes a response on social media about something, another account, that's her. She's
Really?
the
So
voice
cool.
of Kohl's. amongst
So
other things.
does that mean we can go? Oh, never mind.
And my son is at UCF. He's a junior, and he is going to go to medical school when he's going to take a year off and then probably go to medical school.
So cool.
Yeah, and then I'm fortunate enough to still have both my parents. They're here in Boynton Beach.
Nice.
And then my sister lives over in Highland Beach.
Oh, nice.
And
Awesome.
with her and her husband and 3 kids. So
Very
yeah,
cool.
we've got and
Very fortunate.
My wife's sister is also lives in Boca with her husband and 2 kids. So we've got a lot of
that's
family.
cool.
A lot of
Yeah.
family. around.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's really great.
I love that.
Who hosts?
Yeah.
We host Thanksgiving. My sister hosts Passover.
Okay.
My parents will invite us over to their country club when
Right.
they want to host something.
Right, there you go. So it's a host. Is it?
Yeah.
Come on over there.
Right, Aberdeen, yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I love that.
I like Aberdeen.
Yeah, that's a good club. Good
So,
course.
so let me ask you this. Everybody I talk to about law school says law school is not an easy thing. And then going through your practice and, listen, there's got to be some stress and all that too. You mentioned your family during the hard times, the hard times of building your practice, like who's in your corner supporting you? Like, is it your wife? Is it the parents? Like, how does that work for your life?
Yeah, that's a good question. So my wife, big time. So when I started this firm about 7.5 years ago, towards the end of 2018, she left her job in 2020 and came and worked for the firm.
cool.
And she just
remember
only
that.
now, as of like last month, is now kind of backing
Really?
away from the firm because
Oh, really?
we're able to hire someone else
Awesome.
to kind of
Good
take
for you.
over her position. Yeah. But my dad was always an entrepreneur. And so, he was in construction in New York,
Right.
as I mentioned. But when he moved to Florida, he left construction completely, became a stockbroker, and he just did a bunch of other things. Then he
Right.
went back to construction, built a company down here and sold it, and eventually retired. So always an entrepreneur. So, he was always someone I was always able to talk to about the importance of, marketing and selling and all those things that it
love that.
requires to build a business.
Yeah, well, listen, and it's cool that he had some experience
Yeah.
that he could lend, right? Because that's one of the best ways to learn is listening. The best way to learn is by screwing up yourself.
Absolutely.
And
Even when you're in business, and you
Correct.
have to do that
yes.
anyway.
And if you're really good, you'll learn from other people's mistakes.
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah. I mean, you try to, but sometimes these
you have
mistakes
to
you
burn
just
your
have
hand
to
yourself.
make them yourself,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And in law school, they don't teach you how to run a business.
Right.
They just teach you
Law.
the nuts and bolts of the law. And so, when I opened my practice, I started working with a company that coaches solo and small law firm owners who want to build and scale their business because
smart.
personally, the actual practice of law and arguing with other lawyers, I've had enough of it. What I want to do is I want to build a business that
Right.
provides this fantastic service for people who really need it.
Yeah.
And we do it with with empathy. We do it with a lot of hand-holding, client care, client service, and good quality work. And so that requires me to have good lawyers, a great marketing professional, good salespeople, great assistants.
Yeah.
And from
admin
top to
stuff,
bottom, our
everything.
people are fantastic.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it is vital. Like, listen, my brother and I, because we don't do enough things together,
Right. I rarely see you guys together.
we literally went to a new primary care physician together.
Okay.
We each became this doctor's patients together.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we both commented on was his staff was nice because
I thought you were going to say small fingers. But
we're grateful for that. It's
yeah,
it's the
that's
blood.
how we choose a doctor.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly the blood test nowadays, but still that's a plus. But really just the fact that the guys at the front desk were nice.
Yeah.
And they were pleasant.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing, right? I mean,
Because how many times do you go to a doctor and it's
Yeah.
and they're not friendly.
painful and you're like, I don't even want to come back here
Right.
just because I feel so unwelcome.
Right.
Right? It happens all the time.
Yeah,
So,
because listen, it's
Dr. Aaron Cohen.
yeah,
Good job.
Dr. Dr. Cohen.
Shout
Thank
out
you.
to Dr. Cohen.
Yes, it was in Boynton Beach.
Oh, Dr. Cohen.
Yeah,
That
Dr.
Dr.
Cohen.
Cohen.
That one.
All right,
Yeah,
He's the one.
The one.
The one Dr.
Dr.
Cohen in South Florida.
But listen, whatever business you're in,
Yeah.
whether it's construction, attorney, doctor, podcast studio,
real
you're a
estate,
service
everything.
business.
Absolutely.
It's a service business, and your product or your service is something different. But you have to take care of people.
Yes.
You may be the best at what you do, but if you don't take care of people, you're not going to really succeed.
Yeah, I mean, when I talk to my employees, it's these people are coming to us, and we may be the only law firm they've ever had to talk to, or the only
Right.
time they've ever needed a lawyer in their lives, and they don't know what to expect, and they're looking to us
Right.
to guide them through this process. What can I expect next? And and that's part of the service to really kind of think through how the client looks at what you do.
Awesome.
I love that. All right, so quick break. If you want one hub for everything that we do, go to lovewhereyouLiveFL.com. So we are Dan and Michael Nathanson, the Nathanson Brothers Real Estate and Mortgage team, And if you are buying, selling, or you're wondering whether a refinance might make sense because rates have ticked down, we're going to ask you some questions, listen to your answers, and help you choose the best option for you. And if you need handyman or renovation help, that's us also at Home Dudes Florida, because we do things the right way, and when things go wrong, we do the right thing. So if you want us in your corner, just head to lovewhereyouLiveFL.com.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary talking about
It
that
is.
in front of this guy.
Can I tell you a little
We
bit?
do the right thing,
You
just
do
so
that.
you know.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's talk about helping the neighbors now, okay?
Sure.
So what would you say are the top mistakes homeowners make when hiring a contractor?
Okay. That's an excellent question.
Right.
I'd say the top mistake is they don't do their due diligence, right? So there's a lot of information out there you could find on contractors if you know where to look, and a lot of people just don't know where to look, and it could be an arduous process because you want to try to get a few bids and it could just it takes a lot of time and a lot of research. And so one mistake people make, which is an easy one to identify, is they shop based on price.
Oh, yeah.
You get what you pay for, and if you get 3 bids and 2 of them are 85,000 and one is 50,000,
Right.
there's probably something that person is not considering, the one who gave you that really low bid, and it's going to come up at some point during your project where they're going to be asking for more money, and you're not going to necessarily know whether you should have to pay it to them or not. So when it comes to vetting a contractor, obviously, you want them to be licensed and insured, right? There's different licenses in the state of Florida for the different kinds of work that contractors can do, and that is publicly available information you can look up online at myfloridalicense.com and see, make them produce it to you, make them produce insurance to you. It's not enough to just ask for references. I mean, you really want to know. Of course, they're going to give you references that are.
positive.
Let me show you the one who I stole money from. Talk to me.
Right, exactly. But I mean, there are things that you can even ask those people to, see whether this contractor can, whether you're going to have a good working relationship with them.
Yeah.
Do they protect the floors in your house when they're doing the other work? Do they respect what your instructions are? And are they easy to get in touch with and communicate with? Most people will, if during the process where the contractor is trying to court you and trying to get you, if they don't communicate well with you, if they don't, keep their promises to you, that is a big red flag. That's an indication of exactly what you could expect during your project. Do not ignore that gut feeling that's telling you, I'm not so sure about this guy. Go find another contractor if that's what you're feeling. And people will ignore that because, again, the processes can be difficult. You're in a hurry and you want to just get the job done. You're looking forward to that new kitchen because you want it by Christmas so you can have, the family over for Christmas time. And before you know it, it's, the following May and it's still a disaster. And so that's the biggest mistake people make is they don't know how to vet a contractor. And so one of the services we offer is actually contractor vetting. We do. We have for a flat fee of $750. We will take your contractor and we will, pull all the licensing and insurance information, including workers' comp, which is super important that these contractors have. We pull in Florida, licenses are given to individual people. So if you hire a company, that company has to have a licensed person behind it with the state as what's called a qualifier. So we do a background search on the qualifier for criminal activity, bankruptcies, judgments. We run the qualifier and the company through various clerks of court to see what lawsuits they've been involved in.
Awesome.
We do an audit of their online reviews, everything from Better Business Bureau to Google to Yelp, and then there's a couple of construction-related ones we do as well. And we identify anything that's a red flag for you.
Awesome.
And so if we do, and we produce a nice 15-page, 20-page report to you at the end of it, with a flat $750.
Right.
Sounds really cool, actually.
Right. And I'll bet you that saves potentially tens of thousands.
Oh, absolutely.
Of dollars.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because listen, I mean, when you're working with people, there's going to be stuff that happens, right? There's going to be a client who you did everything that they asked, exactly how they wanted it, they paid, you're done, and then they're just not happy with it.
Right.
And they're going to go online and say something bad, right?
Absolutely.
So you're able to look at that and make sure it's not a common thing, right? And I think that's awesome because, I mean, I know my brother likes to tell the story. We were going to do a job for someone. It was a decent-sized job. It was an older lady we were referred to. And she had a ton of questions, which is great. And then my brother got a call, and it was from her son. And he's like, how do I know you're not just going to steal her money? And the first thing my brother said was, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for calling.
Thank you for looking out for your mom because you're not here. And listen, we're good people, but you don't know that, right? We can't disappear. Like what my brother said is, look, he said, my brother's on the chairman of the board of the YMCA in Boca Raton. I'm the chairman. I'm one of the board members of the Boca School for Autism. We're trustees with the Chamber of Commerce. We're around. We're not. Yeah, we can't hide.
Right.
So it's. I hope that makes you feel comfortable. And again, thank you for looking out for your mom because I would want somebody to do that for our dad.
Correct.
Right. So that was, I think, awesome.
Yeah, totally.
I wish more people did that.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's interesting. You mentioned, about the customer, about doing the check and the customers doing things differently. We had something recently where we literally just finished the job Monday, and the customer had chosen some tile for the floor in her bathroom, the accent on the wall. And after it was installed, she complained that she didn't like it, and we're like, "You chose the tile."
Right.
She's like, "Yeah, no, but it's not the blue."
Not only did she choose the tile, we went she had some extra tile from before that she wanted to use. It was, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like we needed 20 pieces of tile and she had like 16.
Okay.
So I'm like, that doesn't work. They don't make this tile anymore. Like we showed her. We went to the store with her.
To help
Right?
her
That's
choose.
not something that we typically do. We went above and beyond. So we went with her. She chose it.
Yeah.
And then she goes, I'm not happy.
Right.
And then later, she was an elderly lady. It was fine. And then later she goes, oh, I just had the wrong light on it. I love it.
Right. Yeah. So she's thrilled.
But we're like, what do you want us to do?
Right.
This is
chose it.
exactly
Yeah,
what
it
you
was so
chose.
funny.
Yeah. Right.
We were with you. You were
Right.
with
Yeah.
Right.
You're going to love that.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the show here. So let me ask, if you had to pick one mistake that causes the most damage when hiring a contractor, like what would you say is the one that like you have to?
Well,
make sure
it's
take?
not signing a contract. And a contract isn't a list of things they're going to do in a number.
Right.
That is not a contract.
Right.
Now, if you have a small project, a $10,000 or $15,000 project, I mean, you can maybe get away with something like that, But anything where you're spending some significant money or what you consider to be significant money, you need a contract that's going to clearly lay out everything from the payment, progress payments. When are they going to be due? What the scope of the work. If it's not in your written contract, you shouldn't expect to get it. I don't care what they told you.
Right.
Right.
And we hear that all the time. I was told I was getting the highest end cabinets and now I got garbage. And it's just, but it's not written in your contract. But the
Right.
salesperson told me, doesn't matter. If it's not in your contract, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not signing a contract, that really kind of lays out all the what ifs, what's going to happen if this, if that, and hopefully you never have to look at the document
Right.
again.
Right.
But if you don't have that there, then vagueness and ambiguity in a contract favors the contractor, not the homeowner. And so that's the biggest mistake that they make when they hire a contractor. And then in a close second is ignoring communication problems. That's a close second. And communication is at the heart of every dispute between homeowners and contractors. And so, if you can't communicate well with your contractor at any point in the process and you just don't really get along, that's a disaster. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. And really for anything, and I think we've shared this before, something we learned in real estate is that the reason that a contract is in writing is that when it goes in front of a judge, the judge understands what's going on because you don't want a judge to use their judgment, right? The judge isn't a contractor. The judge isn't the homeowner.
Right.
If they have to try and figure it out, good
May
luck.
or may not go the right way.
Right, and not only
so
that,
you
but
want it
it's not always a judge that's making that decision.
Correct.
It could actually, God forbid, be a jury.
Right.
And you get 6 very disinterested people deciding what it was you actually agreed to
Correct.
with your contractor. It's
Correct. Yeah,
it's
so
that's
clear.
even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, clear.
And so when we talk about contractor disputes, what does that usually look like in real life as far as money, timelines, quality, communication, all the above? Like, what is it?
A lot of disputes, most people will call saying, hey, I want to sue my contractor. Well, I know you don't want to sue your contractor, but why do you think you need to sue your contractor? I want him to finish this job and well, the court's never going to do that. The court is not going to order the guy to come back and finish the work. If you're in court, it's because you're fighting over money.
Right.
And what most people don't realize is that fighting over money is expensive.
Right.
Right. There's the lawyers that do what we do. we're not contingency lawyers. It's we're not the guy on the billboard saying, you don't. It's free unless we get money for you. That's not how any of this works.
Right.
You're paying lawyers $400, $500, $600 an hour,
Right.
which means you better have a lot to be fighting over, and if you're going to step into court. Now, I tell clients all the time, it takes two people to agree, only one to decide there's going to be a war.
Yeah.
So if your contractor is dead set on suing you, you're not going to be able to stop him. If he wants to put a lien on your house,
Right.
you're not going to be able to stop him. There's no one at the clerk's office to say, hey, prove that this person really owes you this money. No, I could lien your house if I want to. It takes nothing but like $10. It's like so. The legal system is slow and it's expensive, and generally the cases we have in litigation tend to be the people who are custom building homes for a few million bucks that go wrong. And these people can, or our client might be a condo or a homeowner association who has a problem with a contractor. But I mean, those pieces of litigation can get to $200,000-$300,000 in attorney's fees. So you need to have a lot at issue in order to go into court. And so going into court is not a good solution for someone who's got a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 problem on their hands, right? So what we try to do in those situations is we help people out on flat fees pre-suit to try, and again, they're usually coming to us where they've given away their leverage because they're not holding any more of the money, and so now we have to help them create leverage in order to be able to have the conversations we want with the contractor to either get them to go away, get them to come back, pay back some money, whatever it might be. And one of the big problems here in Florida is people who contract without a license. I don't want to call them unlicensed contractors because that would be like, you don't call someone an unlicensed doctor, right? Like he's practicing medicine without a license. That's what these people are doing. And it's very difficult to get any kind of justice against those folks. However, there are people who will happily lend their licenses to these people who are contracting without a license all the time. That's extremely illegal. And so, and that person who's doing that is subject to discipline from the state because they have a license. And so anytime we see a situation like that, that's somebody we're putting pressure on in addition to the unlicensed contractor, which is a crime. And that's where, unfortunately, the state of Florida doesn't really enforce the criminal laws for something that is clearly criminal behavior. And if they did, might make my job a little easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you mentioned communication issues.
Yeah.
Are there any other early warning signs that something's about to go sideways, you think, or stuff that maybe people ignore that they shouldn't?
Yeah. So, you don't want to give the contractor a lot of money up front, right? And so that a lot of times, I've had people come and say, yeah, we paid him the full $81,000 right up front.
Man.
Why'd you do that?
Right.
And well, he said, I thought that was how it works. Isn't that normal? No, it's not normal. Or, you give them a big chunk up front because they're going to go buy your materials now to lock in the prices. And then when it comes time to finally install those cabinets later on, turns out they never did. And now they're not available. But you said you were taking my money to do that.
Right.
Well, now here's a change order for like the extra it's going to cost to. So, it's, so you don't want to part with too much money up front. That's a big mistake. But, and like I said, trust your gut. As soon as you think that you're being lied to, that's a good time to go seek help. The longer you wait to seek help, the harder it's going to be for someone like me to help you out. And it starts sometimes even right away with permitting, right? So, people, now if a contractor comes to you and says, let's just do this without a permit, it's faster and cheaper, do not do that. Do not do that. Do not do unpermitted. Run the other direction. And I don't care and what they'll do is they'll, when they tell you, yes, we applied for the permit, trust but verify. Check to see that that's actually happened, and you'll be surprised at how many times the contractor is lying to you and they never submitted for the permit.
That many times myself.
Yeah, right. And it takes, and it's taking so long. You thought that they told you the job would be done in 3 or 4 months,
right?
And it's like 7 months later, and they don't even have a permit issued yet. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about horror stories, right? Not to be too bad. But give us one that's anonymous and real.
Yeah.
And what happened? What did the homeowner do first, and what should they have done instead?
Okay.
Please.
Okay. So
Go through your Rolodex.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Horror stories.
Yes, we have. So we have a client right now. We're in the middle of a lawsuit relating to this. So she had a home that she was going to completely gut and renovate the inside of and add a small addition onto her house as a master bedroom. She hired a company to do it, paid them about $75,000 as the initial deposit. It was supposed to be about $140,000 job. They go ahead and demo the inside. She had moved all her stuff out because she was, not going to live there through this, and she was going to live somewhere else. So she moves all her stuff out. They demo the interior. And then the guy who owns the company comes to her and says, "Hey, my wife is sick. I have to step away from the business." But, Joe, our project manager here, well, we're reorganizing things, and Joe is going to kind of now lead things, and he's going to be the contractor and whatever. But we just need you to sign a new agreement with Joe and with a new company. And she said, okay, and she liked Joe, so she signed this, and I'll make sure Joe gets this, the money that's left over and all that, right? Yeah. So then she signs a contract with Joe's new company. Joe's new company doesn't have a qualifying agent. She didn't know that. She didn't know that the first guy had no part in this new company. Joe wasn't licensed, but there was this open permit out there that they had transferred to some other guy who had a license that she didn't know who it was whatsoever.
Oh, wow.
So they talk to her, Joe does, about maybe expanding the scope of the project a little bit. It'll probably cost you about another $50,000 or so. We're kind of thinking of this, and this. And she said, okay, that sounds good. Let's kind of get it drawn up by the architect. So before she's committed to anything, they start some additional demolition. And instead of, the entrance to the new bedroom being through an existing doorway, they had to take out a little bit of a wall.
Okay.
Now, she wasn't living here at the time, and she was living a little further up north. And she gets a call one day from one of her neighbors and says, your house is gone.
What?
She goes, what do you mean it's gone? She goes, it's gone. It's not standing anymore. And she comes back, and her house is literally all the walls got knocked down. The entire house was gone. They had pulled the entire roof off her house, but they weren't supposed to. They were going to replace the roof, but I mean, they literally pulled it. And then when they started knocking down everything, they started. I mean, we have pictures that it's just a clear story to the sky.
Wow.
They knocked down her entire house, and she went, and she's the nicest lady. And she went to them, and she's like, "What happened? Like what? Oh, we started kind of doing some demo, and it just came down like dominoes."
My bad.
Right, my bad. However,
let us know when the exterior is built.
This is a great opportunity for us to redesign and give you the house that you really want. By the way, that's going to cost you $460,000. And so she then calls us, and so we terminate them, and obviously, and and we put a bunch of people on notice, and we haven't gotten anywhere with any kind of settlement with them, so we've just sued everybody involved, and now she has a new builder in, and it's going to cost her $650,000 to rebuild her house. Just a nightmare. I mean, just like something you would never even think could happen.
God, I hate hearing
that. Potentially $750 up front to vet.
Yeah,
might have
exactly, absolutely, yeah. Or making sure you've got a guy who's licensed here, and so now what we also do for people is a lot of things go wrong when you're not there to watch what the contractor is doing. You may be building a custom home. You live in New York or Boston, and you bought a piece of property here, not there. And when no one's watching your contractor, those things can drag on for years and years. And so we will also help place what's called an owner's representative at your project for you. So they will deal with your contractor on the ground, be your eyes, your ears, your mouthpiece, your advocate on the ground. Because as a lawyer, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So that's another service that we've incorporated into what we do for people.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
For real. Thank you. Because there's so many shitty people out there.
Yeah, there really are.
Just take advantage, like you said, of people who don't know any better.
Right.
Thank you. That's cool.
Wow. Okay. So with the horror stories, do you have any like funniest or strangest excuse, like where a contractor explains something so crazy that you were like, all right, I got to give you respect for the
an A for effort.
Yeah, for the creativity.
Wow. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that falls into that category. But I mean, we've seen some people get really taken advantage of by some wild stories, for sure. But I can't think of anything like that off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you talked about verifying licenses, just myfloridalicense.com. That's where.
Yeah, right.
Like if somebody isn't going to hire you, they're listening and they're like, I can't afford, or I don't need him, or whatever it may be. They will need you at some point.
They will at some point, but not yet.
myfloridalicense.com. Just go check it out.
That's the Department of Business and Professional Regulation, and that's any licensed holder in any industry or trade. That's where you can find them, but for contractors, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. What are the most common contract red flags that you see that you wish people knew about, like clauses or missing items that come back to bite them?
Yeah. So the first thing is making sure that the scope of the work has everything that you're expecting in it. So if it's not included in your contract, obviously, then you're not expected to get it. So make sure you double check all of that. But most people don't understand the difference, the way these contracts get priced, these construction contracts. So there's a difference between something that is a flat price versus a cost plus arrangements. So cost plus arrangements is, hey, whatever it's going to cost the contractor to build it plus a percentage for him. Now, sometimes that's to your benefit as the owner, and sometimes it's not. And your contractor in that situation has no real incentive to keep your prices down, has no real incentive to get, to competitively bid anything. And, if you don't have that written carefully enough, you might even have agreed to pay for his mistakes and to redo things a second time. So, so how things are priced is a big one. When the payments are actually due is another thing that, if it's very vague or if it's very front loaded, early on in the project, that's a red flag too. That certainly. And again, anyone who says that they're going to do something without a permit.
Oh God.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you read our next note here. So for the payment structure.
Yeah.
Like, is there kind of a standard payment structure that you're like, okay, here's the safest way to go? Right, so that you're not overpaying early.
Yeah, so there's something. It's most standard or equitable thing is something that kind of looks like a bell curve, right? Like you have a little bit due at the beginning and the same amount being held at the end, and then as more in the middle of the project is kind of when the higher payments become due. That is probably the most equitable way to do it. So the smaller the job is, though, the more likely it is you'll pay 50% now and 50% when I'm done. But I mean, if your job exceeds $8,000 or $10,000 or $15,000, you probably shouldn't agree to something like that. You should probably break it into phases. And so you want to make sure that you are really clear that you're at least holding 10% of the project or more, but for it to be finished, right? If at the very end, and if it's something that required a permit, make sure that is defined as you've passed all the final inspections
and closed.
Right, and closed the permit. And there's always a punch list at the end of some kind, like little things that are annoying, but you want to make sure they get done as well. There's ways to properly motivate the contractor to come back and do those things.
Yeah. Which is fair. So if homeowner is mid-project and they're already starting to feel a little stuck, like you kind of talked about it, your gut feeling.
Yes.
What's the first thing that they can do that really tends to make the biggest difference?
Well, besides calling a lawyer,
right?
I mean, calling a lawyer is what will make the biggest difference because there's a lot of uncertainty. The contractor knows a lot more than you do about how this whole process works, and you want to be careful. You want to be careful about. In some circumstances, it might be best to tell the contractor to stop working, and some it might be best not to. And a lot of that depends on your contract and the project and the scope of it. So there's no right or wrong thing to do in that situation other than take a pause and consult with someone who knows and has been through this before. That's the best thing that you can absolutely do.
Awesome.
In that situation.
Right. Reach out for your expert.
Yes, and especially if you're really being pressed hard for a payment that you don't feel comfortable making or you feel is not due because the work wasn't done correctly. Right. Don't make that payment thinking it's going to get better because if that extra $45,000 in your pocket is going to make a big difference because the longer you wait, the more money you pay, the less leverage you have, and it's all about leverage when it comes to working these things out on the job.
Yeah, and again, it's like you looked at our notes, right? Because a lot of people make quick decisions.
Yes.
Because of urgency.
Yeah.
Right. It's right. It just happens all the time.
Yeah.
So again, your advice when someone feels that pressure is to take a pause.
Yes.
And call you.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Take a pause, call us, get advice from someone or another construction attorney. But yes, preferably us.
I don't know any other construction attorney.
Yes.
And right in that time of urgency, right? If somebody's got to move quickly.
Yeah.
What's one thing that they should never skip when feeling that urgency or not necessarily from the contractor, but themselves, like they need to get something done quickly? What's one thing that they shouldn't skip before they sign?
Well, one thing they shouldn't skip before they sign is really having your contract reviewed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really it. I mean, most people will read a contract and they'll think, okay, I guess this makes sense. But there's so much that you don't know what you don't know. And when a contract is silent on something, it's going to favor your contractor and not you. And so, I know you're in a hurry to get this done, and we'll have people do that. They'll contact us after kind of looking at this contract for like a week, and they're like, all right, the husband or the wife will say to the other, we really do need to have a lawyer look at this. Okay. And, by the time they call us, they say, okay, well, we really would like you to take a look at this for us. And, oh, by the way, I've been holding on to this for like 2 weeks, and my contractor wants it back like tomorrow. Is that okay? Well,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the fee is triple, but sure.
Right.
Not a
So
problem.
sometimes, it's a little difficult to kind of make that work for people. But yeah. So, yeah, absolutely.
Wow. So for people that are watching us and listening to us that are thinking about doing some work or they're getting ready. Right. I mean, the really the first step for them would be talk to somebody like you to have the contractor vetted, to have the contract reviewed and all that. Right. I mean, that's really it. That's
really it. Talk to the attorney.
Talk to the attorney. But even before that, I mean, when you have an idea of what you want to do, I mean, you really need to kind of figure that out. Figure out what it is you want. Don't rely on the contractor to tell you what you should want, right? Most people will say, hey, we just kind of want to redo our kitchen, and what do you think? And so, but I mean, have a real idea of what you want to do at the house, and whether everything down to like brand names. You really got to do a lot of research and homework first before you even call a contractor, and then that way, and know what you want your budget to be, and don't tell your contractor what you want your budget to be,
right?
Because they will
maximize.
They will maximize it, and then
I know it's weird how it always ends up right around, just a little bit above typically what their budget is, right?
And you should always expect anyway that whatever you have budgeted for it is going to be probably another 10 to 20% more than that. That's just the way it's going to work.
Yeah.
Listen, in the real estate world, almost every time I've sat with a buyer, they're like, this is my budget and this is what we want. Yeah. And then I show them what's in their budget. They go, this isn't what I want. I'm like, exactly. Right. Listen, I don't make the prices. The prices are what they are.
Right.
This is the price range for what you're looking for.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like almost every time.
Yeah. And that's you educating them. It's you educating them again. Just like you're the ones. Yeah.
Correct. And then it's a matter of, okay, what do we change? Do we change what you want, what your expectations are? Do we change your budget? Do we
location,
both?
whatever?
Again, it's just something, right?
Yeah.
Because again, here's what it is.
Right.
And let's figure out what it is you want that fits that.
Do you like Mississippi by chance?
Right.
Yeah. Probably find that there.
I know it's a long commute, but
yeah. So we're going to move on to another segment, which is called The Book of Wicked.
The Book of Wicked.
Wicked awesome. We changed it, even though the book wasn't called The Book of Awesome. So we're going to pass this book to you.
Yes.
We're going to ask you to open to a random page.
Okay.
Read the bold headline at the top.
Okay.
And just tell us if it sparks a memory, a thought, something good and warm. It's amazing how the book works because a lot of times it's something that actually hits home.
It will find you, right?
And by the way, if you open to one there's a couple like weird ones in there.
All right.
Feel free to
you can get a mulligan.
Okay, sweet. I love mulligans. All right. That's never happened to me. When you're driving late at night on an empty gas tank and a gas station appears on the horizon.
Oh,
yeah, no.
I was taught not to.
Dad said when you get half a tank, fill it up.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Getting a trucker to blow his horn.
Oh, there you go.
That's something we always did as a kid, right?
Oh, yeah.
We took a road trip down to Florida from New York. I guess the one time that parents took us to Disney World as a kid, coming from New York. Of course, my spoiled kids in Florida, we did it 50 times.
We're going again.
Yeah.
Right. But you're sitting in the back seat and you see the trucker and you give him one of these things, and that's
pretty cool. And funny that we talked about being paper boys because I remember one time when I was delivering the Sunday Boston Globe, and I'm riding my bicycle, my 10-speed Raleigh, and I tried to get the trucker to do it, and I lost my balance and dumped all the papers out. Yeah.
Oh,
darn it.
Sorry, buddy. All right, let's do another quick break.
Okay.
So a quick local shout out. If you're a business owner, leader, or a single mom, and you want real coaching that actually turns into action, check out our past guest and good friend, Natalie Mora. Her coaching is practical, human, and focused on momentum. You can learn more at nataliemora.com, and we'll spell it out for you in the show notes. So give her a call. She's awesome. Yeah. She really has the best of intentions.
Yeah, she's really terrific. So back to you, Andy. Work, we already talked about, right? Work can get stressful, right? I mean, when you're dealing with people that are in distress, you naturally absorb some of that, right? There's not really a good way to avoid that.
For sure.
So when it gets heavy, when it gets stressful, how do you reset? Like how does Andy kind of shake off the stress and enjoy your life and your family?
Yeah.
What you want to do.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So when you have those tough days, by the time I get home, I will generally just put my phone away, right? Immediately kind of go out for a walk, do something just physical to get it.
What I did last night.
Yeah, just physical to sort of, kind of get in a different frame of mind, and then, just come home and, and that's when I'll have dinner with, with my wife, and we'll just won't talk about work at all, right? And so, my kids are pretty much out of the house. I mean, my daughter has moved out, my son's in college, so we're pretty much empty nesters, so it's not like we have the kids so much. But otherwise, I mean, I like working out, I like doing yoga, I like, just sort of anything, reading a little bit. I try to stay off TV and the news. I try to stay off the news. I do stay off the news. I don't watch any of it.
Same.
But I mean, I'll watch Lincoln Lawyer or whatever.
Oh, good, by the way.
Just watch.
Are you watching the new season?
Yeah, I got 3 episodes left.
I think how many do I have left?
I don't know.
I think I only have one or two left.
Okay,
It's
all right.
so freaking good.
Yeah, it's
right?
great. It's really good.
I really like that show.
Really good.
It was funny. My older son was trying to watch a show with me the other night. I'm like, dude, I love you. We got to finish Lincoln Lawyer before I do anything. I'm sorry. We're finishing Lincoln Lawyer.
Right,
That's it.
right.
And I love the walk thing. So yesterday, I'm not going to use the words that I want to use. I had not a very good day.
A challenging day.
In business. And my wife also had not a very good day in a bunch of stuff. But she had an appointment after work. So I was home. The kids were there. And I'm like, you know what? I got to go for a walk. And literally like 30 minutes, I just walked around the neighborhood. I called a friend and just talked a little bit. And then as I was finishing, my wife got home and I saw her face. I'm like, you want to go for a walk? So we went in. She said hi to the kids real quick. We're like, we'll be back. And we went and walked for like half an hour.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was just, and at the end, I felt a lot better and she felt a little bit better. So it was, it's so therapeutic. And it was so nice out last night too, right? It was just absolutely perfect. All right. Well, anyways.
We live in paradise.
Yes.
It's nice.
So let's talk about community.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you see your work protecting neighbors beyond just one case at a time?
Oh, wow. I mean, so one thing that I do is, even though you would think like the home builders there are enemies, I belong to the Gold Coast Builders Association and also the Florida Home Builders Association. I sponsor a program that the Florida Home Builder Association has called the Florida Certified Master Builders Program. Wow. It has been given to maybe 30 builders and contractors in the state, and it's based on their ethics and morals, their financial stability, the work they do, and all of that. And so what helps is that when people call us and they're needing to change to a new builder, a new contractor, I've got 30 of the best, and they are all over the state that I could call and turn to try to, introduce them to somebody new who could step in and finish their project, because a lot of contractors, as you know, don't like to do that. So, but part of what we do at the FHBA is we're also really very adamant against those who are contracting without a license. So we do a lot. I was actually in Tallahassee just a couple of weeks ago. There was a legislative conference for the Florida Home Builders Association, meeting with our local legislators to try to, and one of the issues on the table has to do with unlicensed contracting. And so, to me, I think that there should be like a homeowner's bill of rights. There should be a more standardized statute in Florida as to what is what should be in a contract, or what needs to be in a contract, what the contractor is obligated to do in these certain circumstances, that has more of a consumer protection bend to it. And so I'm also with the Florida Bar, I'm on the Consumer Protection Committee. Awesome. And so these are the things that I think, if we, and look, not every homeowner is a saint, as you know.
No,
so
of course.
But if you kind of raise the, a rising tide of all the contractors and the quality of the work, and really eliminate the bad actors, it's going to help everybody. And
Absolutely.
So that's what, we're trying also to do here.
Awesome.
Well, yeah.
So if a homeowners association or a neighborhood group wanted to get smarter together, what would you want them doing?
Yeah. So it's interesting because I actually did a presentation to a bunch of homeowner and condo association board members a few weeks ago, where we talked about how to have a successful capital improvement project without coming through it as the guy everyone in your community hates. Right. And so, and you're being entrusted with millions of dollars of your neighbor's money, and most people on a condo or HOA board, frankly, you're running a multi-million-dollar corporation and they're not really qualified for it. So in case you didn't.
Not really qualified is very nice.
You're very kind.
So, we everything, again, it comes to getting professional help. Get advised by the people who know how to do it.
It all comes back to that.
Yeah, it does. Understand how important it is to get the right contractor in there, have a good contract, and engage an owner's representative. Engage somebody who can deal with the contractor for you. Don't trust, Bob, who is a plumber in New York and sits on your board, as being like the expert in the room. No, you need adults and professionals in the room to help you.
Well, the guy from New York always thinks he's the best professional.
Well, he probably is.
Right.
Yeah. So if someone is watching or listening and wants to level up right now, what book, podcast, or tool would you put in their hands?
Yeah, no, right, and it doesn't have to be
Other than digital
related.
mayors, of course.
Yeah.
Of course,
obviously.
of course. They want to level up right now.
Yeah, again, whether it's life, business, home, like what do you think is a good book, tool, podcast, something?
Okay. When I first got into sort of the self-improvement aspect and the self-improvement game, I started listening to, I would listen to a couple of podcasts here and there, and they would lead me to somebody else, and then I would follow their content and listen to them. I think anything that the first book I read that really made a difference to me was something called The One Thing.
Oh yeah,
Really?
Gary
Yes,
Keller.
Yes,
No,
that's right. Yeah.
Are you
Tap-
serious?
James
What are you
Pappas with
reading
Gary
that?
Keller.
That was a great book because
Yeah.
it helped me really kind of identify, how to make progress on my goals.
That's
and
cool.
so
Great book.
so that was like the first business book I read that actually like spoke to me. And
Wow.
so
How did you get that? Like, why? Because it was big in the real estate world.
Yeah, sure, right.
I mean, construction's obviously real estate, but it was like big with like
I
realtors.
don't remember how. You know what? I must have heard about it on a podcast or
Yeah.
something. I don't remember how I first
That's cool though. 'Cause,
found out about it. But yeah,
we got it when it came out.
yeah, right,
Right.
right.
We were still working at Keller
We
Williams.
were with
and-
Keller Williams.
Yeah, okay,
And
yeah.
Gary Keller wrote
Right,
it.
that's right,
Yeah.
that's right. So yeah, I mean, I've read it probably a good 10 years ago. Or
Yeah.
whatever, so it was.
That is a great
that was one of the best books to really kind of start helping me focus on making a plan to get what I want and how to execute on it. Is important.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Right? It does help.
Yeah.
So, what would you say has gotten you excited lately, professionally or personally? Is there anything going on? Like, what do you?
Yeah. So, I love building the business. I mean, that's really exciting to me. And now we've got at my firm, I think we have like 14 people.
Wow.
So yeah, so we've really grown it. And what's been the whole key to it has been marketing. And most
really?
people don't really think about that from a law firm and a lawyer. And it's if I do good work, people are going to call. But especially with what we do, helping homeowners, you go to our website. I mean, we have so much on there in the way of content and videos and our YouTube channel and everything. And and basically, if you're up late at night Googling how do I sue my contractor, you're going to find our website,
Right.
and you're going to come across our content, and so it's
Cool.
that's been the biggest thing. So really, how the marketing is really driving people in, and then tightening up how we go through, bring them through intake into what's really a sales process, but it's the consultation process, and really talking to the people about their problems and why waiting is going to make it much worse, and really just explain to them why they really need our help. Like I really love doing that. That's my favorite part of the job.
That's
Because
cool.
again, you know what's ahead for them if they don't do it.
Yep.
And you understand what potentially is ahead if they do.
Right.
If they work with you. Like
Right.
so I get being excited, like because I think we like that kind of stuff too. Is the process and informing people up
The
front.
education. I love helping people who don't understand. Right? Because listen,
Right.
in the real estate world, everyone thinks they know stuff about real estate, and they don't.
Right.
They don't,
Right.
right? And like when we're working with buyers, the family always comes in to help. And what I pull the clients aside and always say, look, your family, I would imagine, has the best of intentions for you. And very rarely what they say or do actually helps you.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I'm not saying they're bad people. They have the best of intentions.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 20 years at a high level every day.
Yeah.
They don't. I promise you.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been there. I can help you.
Right.
Right? We'll listen. We'll take it into consideration, but let's talk, right?
Yeah, and it's it's my job to help them see what it can or might happen if it goes well and if it goes poorly, right? I mean, people think of sales, it's kind of a dirty word, like you're selling someone and trying to convince them to do something. But I mean, sales is something you do for people, not to people. And if you're having the right kind of conversation with them and they see how much better their life can be by, working together with you, then that's what I'm trying to express to them.
Awesome.
I love that. All right, so you ready for the important stuff?
Yes. Bring it.
What's your favorite local restaurant right now? And what do you order there?
You know what? My favorite South Florida restaurant is Prime 112. Like that's down in Miami, and it's on. I guess it's is it Collins, but it's the only reason I go to Miami.
Really?
I drive there, go to this restaurant, and come back. And they've got, they've got this 1 pound Kobe meatball for an appetizer. Their salad is terrific, and then their steaks and all the toppings and the different they call chapeaux and butters and all that stuff, just phenomenal. And then their deep fried Oreos are just the best for dessert.
It says the guy who's just talked about working out and yoga and all that.
Oh, that's why.
Well, that's why he does it. So he can eat deep fried Oreos.
So I could do that. Yeah.
All right, I like that.
But locally, my wife thinks I'm very boring when it comes to food because I just want American food. Like she's like, let's try this, Vietnamese place.
Right.
Okay, we just get a burger at like Tap 42, like, and a flight of beer. Like anywhere who's got like beer flights, I'm a big fan of beer flights.
I get that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have your phone on you?
I do.
Pull out your phone.
All right.
Show the world if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
What's on your lock screen and what does it mean to you?
Yeah, is there a story or something?
Oh.
Yes, so I have a rotating lock screen that every time it shuts off and turns back on, it's a different picture of my dog.
I love it.
That is so cute.
My dog is
So
named
who's the most important one?
my dog is named Brady.
Oh, you have good taste.
Yes, but my son.
think I knew that, by the way.
I think you did too. My son is a Patriots fan,
Yeah.
so
Like I said,
that's
good kid. I don't know what happened to his dad.
Right.
Good kid.
Somebody in the family has good taste.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so if you get, I'm saying if, hopefully it's when,
Yes.
but if you get a day off here in South Florida, no email, no chores, no nothing, how do you enjoy your day off?
I would go to the gym in the morning, and then I would go play golf with some buddies, and then probably dinner somewhere. I can get a burger and a beer flight, and yeah.
Best burger. Where's best burger? around?
Yeah.
I really like Shake Shack burgers.
Okay.
I think they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
You ever go to the Boca Burger Battle? You guys ever
I've
go to
never
this?
been.
No,
I
it's which
love
is dumb
burgers.
because I love burgers.
Oh man, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
We went a few years ago. Deck 84 had an unbelievable burger. It was like a duck fat something or other burger.
Awesome.
Just so good. So
I do
good.
make pretty good
my
burgers
brother
too. I'm
makes
just
really
saying.
good.
Oh, okay.
My kids die for them. They love
Yeah.
them, and I actually really enjoy them as well.
Yeah. The Charm City just opened in Boca. Did you see that?
Right.
Yeah.
The one that's in Deerfield.
I haven't
with
been.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it opened where what Baja Cafe?
I think so.
Was
Yeah.
I think it is.
Oh, okay. Is that where they opened? Okay.
Right,
got
I
it.
think
Yep.
that's
right by
and
the
Dixie.
Yep. Right by the train track there.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot about that place, Baja Cafe.
So is there, can you think of a local person, a business, an organization that you think more people should know about that maybe we can help shine a light on? Like, is there somebody out there doing good?
Yeah, you know what? Who does good is my personal trainer.
Oh, yeah?
I love that guy. Yeah, his name is Mike Gallagher, and I think his company is called like Axis, and he does not only personal training, but it's like metabolic testing and all of this. Trying to and really, I've gone through some injuries. I had a shoulder issue, and I had these other things that he. And I'm 54. I know I don't look it, but
Right, no.
I'm that old. So, but
I was going to say 64. But
well, thank you. But it really works, able to, as of getting older and, the things I should and shouldn't be doing. And, that, I can now hit a golf ball further. These were the things that were important to me. I want to hit a golf ball further.
Right.
And so, that kind of thing and just sort of being sort of healthy day to day. So I think, Mike Gallagher is
Awesome.
an excellent personal
That's it.
trainer, and he really kind of looks at it holistically, plans it out. I go to a gym where there's other trainers there training other people. He's the only one who's got he's got the iPad. He's got all my data. He's tracking everything. These other
that's cool.
trainers or coaches or whatever they are there with, a hot cup
Right,
of coffee and a donut. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
really cool.
Yeah.
I like hearing that.
Yeah.
All right, so before we close, we want to give a shout out to past guests, Letty and Sean Cronin with Bug Lady. So if you are dealing with creepy crawly pests and you want a trusted local team taking care of your home or your business, Or if you'd like to, this is kind of cool too, if you'd like to bring some bug education to your local school or organization, check them out at buglady.com. Right, we love to support local businesses,
Yeah, and they're awesome.
They're
absolutely
terrific.
awesome. So, Andy, we want to say thank you so much for coming in today,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, man, this was awesome.
really, thank you for protecting homeowners.
Yes.
It's so important.
Yes.
It's so needed, and something that people like don't think about until they really need it.
Yeah.
But they need to think about it before they need it.
That's very true.
So,
Very true.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Awesome.
For real.
Yeah,
It was great being here.
Yeah, we
I
do
appreciate
appreciate
that.
it. No,
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
And so, where would you say, where should people go first to connect with you or learn more? Is it the website? Is it social media? Both?
Yeah, it's really both, but wymanlegalsolutions.com is our website. We're posting every single day on all the platforms, with LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, and then our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel has a ton of videos. Some of them are just me, others are me talking with contractors about some of these, one in particular, these Florida certified master builders, about these kinds of issues and projects and whatever. And we've got a lot of interactive tools as well on our website. Cost estimation tools and budget planning tools for
Love that.
projects and stuff
cool.
like that. And our social is good because we've got a character named Shady. He's Shady,
Okay.
the contractor
All right.
from Trust Me Contracting.
Oh, gotcha.
And so he gets a lot of he gets,
I'm sure he
he's
gets some
shady.
laughs, too.
He does. He gets some laughs.
We'll make sure to put all that info in the
Oh, yeah,
show
in the
notes,
show
by the
notes.
way, just so you know.
Great.
And for everyone watching and listening, our hub is lovewhereyouLiveFL.com. So if you got value out of this episode, which how can you not? Please do us a favor, like it, share it with a friend right now. Share it with someone who's considering doing a project or someone who's in the middle of a project that's having some challenges. That would be awesome. That way we can connect them with Andy. Follow our show, and if you are feeling generous, please feel generous. Leave us a quick 5-star review on whatever platform you're watching or listening, because it helps more than you think.
Yeah, and by the way, even if you're not feeling generous, just do it anyways.
All right, fine.
So thank you so much for being here, South Florida.
Yeah, and love where you live.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
We'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next one.
Bye.
Thank you.
Squaw.